But another IP they've been trying to spread around the world for a long time. It's called I Am Legend, and finally it's coming into fruition. And that leads me to our featured story of the night. What are you trying to say, Sabrina?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was whispering because I was trying to be
They
cool.
can still hear you.
Well, I was whispering. Oh, is this happening again?
No, it's not.
He wanted to know if we like the Annabelle films. I didn't want to move on without answering the question.
Annabelle films can be fun. I mean, again, they're all in that universe. I like all that universe. It's all good, but it's great. But I Am Legend 2 is coming, everybody. Apparently they've been working on it since forever. I mean, this came out in 2007, and Will Smith's character, Dr. Robert Neville, actually died in this, but they're saying they're going to take the alternate ending, the original ending, and go off that and ignore the ending from the theatrical release. And the original ending that they didn't release, they released it later on YouTube and on the DVD releases and stuff like that. Apparently, he wheels like the zombie out there, gives it away, and we find out that all the zombies, or I guess in this they call them the Dark Seekers, they actually have been living and growing as a society, and they're sentient and they understand things and they have their own way of talking and living. But they took that away in the theatrical version because they thought they wanted to make it more of a zombie movie. But in the original book, that's where it goes down to. It's all about vampires taking over society, and then they reign supreme at the end of the book, and then humans are gone, and there's a new empire of vampires. They're even scared of garlic, apparently, in this whole thing in the book.
Isn't that a thing?
They actually went there though in the book though too, that they were running society.
But he died.
And it was a whole thing. He didn't die in the original ending, so they're gonna retcon all that, and now he will not die, and Will Smith will come back to play his same character. And the only reason this is happening because Michael B. Jordan actually talked to Will Smith about it. Michael B. Jordan had an idea to move forward, and Will Smith said, after he talked to him, he said the idea came up. I can't talk about it yet, but it's really, really cool concept, and Michael B. Jordan was part of creating the idea. So it was one of those things where I was gonna leave it alone because he didn't want to touch it, and then I heard the idea, and I was like, that might work. I think we can do that. So they've been talking about this for a long time, and now it's actually moving forward. Of course, if the strikes won't happen anytime soon, there's a script, they're moving forward. Warner Brothers is all about it. They've been trying to make this sense. It was 2022 when they actually had a whole thing where they actually greenlit it and they were going forward with it, but now it's actually moving forward. And I guess I said the whole idea for the original series was that the Dark Seekers would evolve and get smarter and potentially build a whole civilization. And that's what the book wanted. But so a lot of fans were mad because when they watched it, it wasn't about that. It was just a zombie movie, as opposed to Will Smith finding out that he is the last person from an old society and the new society has scared them almost. And who is this person from our past? So I think that's a cool idea. Of course, you're going to dive into it, make it about, vampires and make it go that route, then you have to retcon that ending and move it forward. And it's just crazy to me because, again, 2007, now it's a long time that nothing has happened with this, and now we're talking about it again. So I'm like, okay, it's happening. What do we think about this? Sabrina, do you think this is a good idea to move forward and make a I Am Legend after all this time, or should Will Smith, stop getting jiggy with it like it's 1999, leave it in the past?
Stop getting jiggy with it.
Oh, shit.
Ryan Bauer with the best line of the night. I love it. Hilarious.
Now Ryan needs to take a drink.
Yeah, Ryan,
take a drink.
Hit your burnett's, motherfucker.
Even
Funny, Ryan. Yeah, I love racetracks, dude. You please come back. You're amazing. I'm gonna quickly address your Annabelle question. I like I said in the chat, but I don't know. I don't know that I can watch that. I'm terrified of dolls already from Barbarella because I'm old. Yeah, I've heard it's good, but whatever. What's the question you asked me?
Do you think this is a good idea to bring this IP back since 2017 or 2007?
Hard no. And again, I think Razor X also said that he died and his dog died too.
I know the dog died. He died.
What are we doing?
We're retconning it though.
Who's gonna pretend that didn't happen? I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not. As everyone knows on the show, anyone who knows me, anyone who knows the show, I do not like to recycle my penis. IP-ness. No. Hardcore no.
Fresh
I do
IP.
appreciate the memes. Yeah, I like a good fresh IP. I like it. I like for people to like
young IP.
I like the young IP.
What? The young IP? Why is your IP sound like a creeper?
Not the old IP.
I just don't want you to keep doing the same ideas. There are so many talented people out there that have so many fresh ideas and so many scripts that are waiting to be made. Like, why are you just banking on bullshit? Like, just move on. Do other things, do better things, do new things. And if they're not better, whatever, at least they're new. Get them out there. Like this, it never used to be this way. Now it's just like a constant recycling of fucking bullshit. And like, I'm not saying that some of it's not good, because it is. Sometimes it's great, but it's rare. And I just feel like something like the last year's Oscars showed us. Everything Everywhere All at Once was a weird, convoluted, crazy multiverse situation that couldn't have been more visually stunning and acted any better than it was. So why aren't we doing more shit like that?
That's a financial risk,
Reviving,
isn't it?
Who cares?
It's a big risk.
It won all the awards.
I can tell you who cares.
All the awards.
Nobody else did it
People that are
because the people are scared of new. People are scared of new, Mike.
A24 took that chance and they reaped the reward.
They've been trying to do.
So instead, you're going to keep doing dumb stuff.
Dude.
I'm sorry, Brian. What were you saying?
I said, look at this. So Sabrina, this has been this movie came out in 2007, and the fact they want to retcon the ending and go with an alternate ending that was never released, only to YouTube and DVD, supplementary materials. The fact they're doing that is it's kind of crazy that they're willing to go to that extent to make something like this work in present day. But for me, I'm why? I mean, honestly, I like I Am Legend. I didn't read the book, so I didn't know about this whole vampire thing that was
it's a vampire, not zombie?
They're kind of their own thing. They're not really either.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rachel,
they're more right. Rachel, did you read the book before? Do you know about this series more in depth? What do you think about this?
Oh, I didn't read the book at all, but I did watch Lexi's comment there about the best versions being Vincent Price's Last Man on Earth.
I'm sorry.
I 100% agree with that. Again, we covered this on Lexi's old podcast, The Three Demers. So
this came out in 1954, the original book.
Three Demers.
But
Three Demers.
We missed that comment. Sorry, Lexi.
Sorry, we covered it, and Last Man on Earth was absolutely the best version, 100%. And then Omega Man, also fantastic. I Am Legend.
Yeah, which
it's a movie, right? It's a movie, right?
It's necessary to make another one. I think there could be some interesting exploration of that world, but do I think continuing this particular version of it is necessary? Absolutely not. Make a new one. Cast new people.
Exactly.
Make it within that universe and not having to do with this film.
Right.
Make it within the same I Am Legend greater ideascape without having it be related to this. It's just it's just dumb. It's unnecessary. I think this whole show we've been talking about projects that have been pseudo announced, and it just really feels like so many of these are probably not going to happen. It feels like these studios are just putting out press so that there's something that is being talked about that's not the strike.
Aside from the strike, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, 100%. And that you're right, because that's all we have right now, Rachel.
They also are talking about pulling stuff. That's not. It's just you're exactly right. It's like a news cycle. They're trying to pull focus from the bullshit that they're doing.
They're punishing people by pulling completed projects, but they're trying to distract the citizenry by announcing new projects. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit, and I'll believe it when it comes out.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah,
Credit services for the citizenry.
I'll believe it when it comes.
Really important.
I'll believe it when it comes out.
We're talking about that means multiple versions, and everyone was mad about. Again, Rachel, you're right. People were mad about this movie because it wasn't the best adaptation of the source material. And the thing is, they're saying about this movie is, we're going to actually dive into the source material. We're going to make it the most accurate version ever. We're going to go into this whole new society where Will Smith's older now, and now there's this whole vampire-ish.
But he died.
But they're probably going to begin the movie. I imagine the script begins with Michael B. Jordan. It's Michael B. Jordan's idea.
The dog died first, and then he died.
The dog died first. It was very depressed when the dog died. But I honestly you never see that. But he killed the dog on film. You never see that.
It's an easy way to get. It's manipulative of a filmmaker.
There's a website dedicated to that. It's called "Does the Dog Die?" and you can search the movie, and it'll tell you.
I can't. I'll cry.
It's the whole reason that John Wick means anything at all. If the dog didn't die in John Wick 1, none of us would give a shit. This whole $30 billion empire.
One
rattles right in.
Killed a dog.
Literally, my brother made me watch that, and I was like, I don't want to watch this bullshit. Excuse my language. Just kidding. I curse.
You
all
don't
the
curse
time.
all the time, Tom.
I said just kidding. But literally, I was like, I was
Dogs!
bawling.
It's not
I was
about
dogs.
bawling my
Seriously,
eyes
like
out. And I was like, he better kill those fucking motherfuckers. Like literally from my chair. And I was like on the edge of my seat, like screaming. And he was like, wow, I didn't expect this reaction. Like, but I had my 2 dogs in my lap. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like
it really well in that movie.
They really fucking
They
did.
did,
And
yeah.
I still love it to this day. Every fucking one, I love it more than the last. It's amazing.
But this, so they're saying they're going to retcon it because, again, like I said, there's an alternate ending where he didn't die. And apparently, when
it's not an alternate ending. Watch the movie. The movie happened.
I know the theatrical version, he dies. You know, he does a little butterfly thing. He sacrifices himself.
Brian? So you see occasionally on DVDs or released after the fact, you see movies that have other endings. That happens occasionally. How often is it that you see a sequel developed upon that alternate take? Like
it's super rare. It's super rare.
Like I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
It's ever happened.
It might be so. Yes,
this is the first biggest.
Was it in the DVD version or whatever the fuck? Like people even watch that anymore?
DVD version, and then they released to YouTube after the movie came. Well, I mean, when
so
YouTube
they're
blew up,
going off of that. That makes it slightly more plausible.
And
I still
that,
don't like
and
it.
then that,
one thing if people are like, oh, okay, like the alternate version on the DVD, that's part of my head.
That's
canon.
way way better.
Very different thing if they go.
They didn't go with it because it,
you can't just be like, this person didn't die.
It's the same shit though, where they do test audiences. They tested this ending, and people were like unfulfilled by it because all he does is he pushes the zombie out. They have a little heartfelt moment. They interact where you can tell where they actually understand each other. And the zombies all leave and he lives. In the theatrical version, like he sacrifices himself. He pulls a grenade out. He blows the whole thing up and everyone dies. And it has like a voiceover thing.
Which is a much better story, is it not?
Sacrifices himself for what?
Well, he kills so that she can get away.
He's the last dude.
No, but there's a girl though. There's a girl, and then you find out at the very end there's a whole society that's outskirts. They've been like locked away, and she takes the antidote to them. I
remember literally none of that.
And then it's the antidote that makes it can save the whole world pretty much. And he created it from that zombie.
Last of Us, by the way.
It's very the Last of Us. I mean, it's very Last of Us, but like he creates that formula, and then
in the year of 2023.
He goes and blows everybody up so she can get away with the formula and saves the world. But that's what they're trying to pull off of. But Mike, do you think that they should retcon this and go into this world? Or do you think that 2007 is so far gone? Why are we touching upon this again?
It's very far. So, sorry, the reason I jumped in there is because I presumed that you wouldn't get back to me. So
I'm getting to you, Mike.
You wouldn't get back to me.
I apologize for that. My most important point here is the level of aggression on that GIF that you shared earlier. I don't know if you're going to share it again, but
I can if you want.
In the past, Will Smith being angry in a GIF felt one way. We felt like, okay, he's representing everyone. He's fighting on my side. Now in 2023, when I see Will Smith being really aggressive on a GIF, I feel, especially as he's coming at me on my screen, I feel much more frightened for my safety. Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one you want, right, Mike?
Maybe I'm alone with this. If anybody else, if I'm the only person that feels like that, maybe so. Maybe
Chris Rock probably feels like that.
Chris Rock is
I went to it's on Netflix, but I went to that comedy show that he was promoting. Like he literally for the first time addressed it, and it was he did a hilarious job explaining. And people are like, did it hurt? He's like, yeah, it fucking hurt. The motherfucker played Muhammad Ali. I played Booty Tang.
It's pretty fucking great.
Pretty fucking great.
That joke probably happened in his mind like 15 milliseconds
Immediately. He was like, oh, I got some shit now.
but Mike, instead of rebooting this IP, like this is a way of bringing it back because they've done 3 versions of it now, right? And it's been since 2007. It's almost 20 years later, you know? Like, do you think this is a way to bring it back into fruition and do it right, though?
This is Will Smith looking back in his Rolodex of ideas, thinking, what can I sell?
Well, we can't make another Men in Black. That one failed. Let's do another one of these.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly feels like that. Like, what is going to be the most acceptable thing, the easiest to get down to have the the Get Back into America tour, like, and also kind of pretending that nothing ever happened, which is like going back to this mid-level property that's super old, that like people are just going to be like, oh, here's I Am Legend. I don't know. I don't give a shit about it. It's interesting that they're operating off of something that was on the DVD, because you never see that.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, I don't know, man.
Mike, do you think they can just be like, that was on the DVD and no one literally knows, because DVDs don't really even exist anymore?
It's been a big thing on the internet, though.
It's going to be a Mandela effect situation. Yeah. They're going to say
it was always that way. It was always that way.
The Berenstain Bears.
Did you say Mandela effect?
There's no Berenstain Bears. You're living in a false reality. He's going to bring out the.
You do not see this.
He lived the dog. The dog was fine. They were running off in the sunset together. He was riding the dog. What are you talking about? It's ridiculous.
Ray, it's all wrong.
This is ridiculous. My little mind erasing thing. Yeah.
Look into this light. Wait.
No, I could see that. I'm like them like retconning everything and actually changing the ending on the DVDs and the digital stuff and like putting that ending
scary. Oh my god! You know, you have to be worried about
like that was always that way.
That could actually happen, and not just people that are doing.
I guarantee,
Hollywood proproperties. This is
people
that are affecting the history.
I don't like that. Let's not.
I guarantee, Mike. I guarantee. Once they officially announce they're starting production for this, I guarantee they're going to have a digital release reissuing I Am Legend 1. And that ending is going to be the ending that you never saw in the theaters. I guarantee it. So that people watch it again, because people be like, I want to see it.
The beginning, like
and
the
they'll
first
watch
scene,
it again.
The cold open.
And they'll be like, oh, this is
that VHS that you've got kept in the incorrect case. That's the puffy little.
I have to digitize that.
You got used.
You put in the wrong one. Like, that's important. That's important for archival purposes.
It's like I have the original Star Wars, like when it first came out on VHS. And I guarantee if I pop that in there, it's not, there's a lot they changed. And they're acting like it's all like the C-3PO thing about his leg was always a different color. Go fuck yourself. That's not real Mandela effect.
I read 9 articles about it. His leg is always silver. The one,
bullshit.
Just the bottom part of the one leg. Just
bullshit.
the part of the one
I
leg
have
is
the
silver.
unedited laser discs. I will check them.
Is it silver? Please, we need to know.
We should all check.
This is going to be a need to know.
It's an ongoing thing. We will fact check those Mandela effects, but you are fans.
I was watching. I was like, there's no way that's fucking true. There was a lot of them where I was like, maybe, but like that, I was like, no, there's
no way.
How do you not notice that C-3PO is not completely gold?
I remember they were changing it. I remember they were changing it because of it. I remember when they were changing it because of it. They were trying. I remember George Lucas doing a whole thing.
The figures were always all gold, weren't they?
Yes, always all gold. 100%. Yeah. But now they're saying they were always had a silver leg.
It's easier to manufacture that way.
To be fair, the Mandela effect of people remembering things is different than the effect of deliberately altering the archive.
Right.
Like,
absolutely.
So I don't know if that one has a name, but you just have to call that out.
I said 100 and I put a 2 sign up. I don't know what that meant.
200.
100.
The 700.
All the hundreds. 1000. 1000.
But this too, I'm like, if you're gonna redo this, I guess it's the way of rebooting this without having to reboot it. But I like Will Smith, even though he might fucking smack the shit out of you someday if you can't handle your shit. So I mean, that's Will Smith. He's getting jiggy with it. He's slapping fucking Chris Rocks, and he's
is he fighting a big metal spider?
And he's fighting his wife sometimes. But it is what it is. It's,
shots fired.
It's
pew pew pew.
Apparently, he's a fucking lovely human being. It's just it was a time in his life where he lost his shit. I'm not trying to talk hate about Will Smith because I've loved him a long time. Remember it was 1999. We're rolling 2000. I was listening to that Will 2K, my fucking Walkman, or it was a fucking disc player. I was fucking jamming that, watching fireworks rolling in. I fucking love Will Smith. I mean, and a part of me has always been like, I don't like to see that. But then again, people lose their shit, but I still don't fucking sanction what he did to fucking Chris Rock. That's bullshit, at the end of the day. The Mandela effect is real. It is real. Racer X.
In the Matrix. It's
always
the Matrix. That makes perfect sense.
Humans' brains are really bad at remembering things.
But how are all of the humans' brains? How are all of the humans' brains bad at remembering something?
My brain sucks.
Like, okay, I fell down the rabbit hole the other day. This is a light sidebar. I'll be very quick.
No conspiracy. No.
Very quick. No, it's not conspiracy.
Anyways, everybody.
No, wait. It's really quick. It's 2 seconds. I'm sorry. So the Mandela effect thing, I was like watching all these things about the Mandela effect, and I'm like, okay, I get that. And one of the things was C-3PO's leg. The other thing that blew my mind was that Fruit of the Loom, like the fruit in Fruit of the Loom. That there wasn't a cornucopia ever.
Cornucopia.
It's just the fruit. And then the person
swinging
who
grapes the whole time,
just hanging out, just
hanging out by themselves,
just
hanging
loose
along.
grapes and bananas.
But the person who like made
snowballing.
the person who owns Fruit, like the Fruit of the Loom person was like, no, I'm pretty sure there was a cornucopia. Like they have a statement from him. So how is that a thing? That's weird. It's weird. Just like the C-3PO leg is weird. That was the weirdest one I found. All the other shit is kind of like, meh. That is weird.
And that's a whole conversation.
He created it.
There's seen bears ones gets me. That's the one.
Me too.
Me too. Every
But
time.
we brought that up
Every
already,
time.
and I get that. And I remember it different than other people remember it. 100%. That is 100% real. But like cornucopia or no cornucopia, I didn't even. The person who created it was like, there was a cornucopia, and on record, no cornucopia. That's fucking weird. It's fucking weird.
It's very weird, Sabrina. And that's the thing. Like, that's where it comes down to when people change stuff on cinema and then they act like it's always been that way, Mike. It's,
what are you doing?
It gets a slippery slope.
Weird here? I think the explanation,
I feel like
the potential
explanation
is what's weird. The phenomenon is a little bit
real.
strange, but the
phenomenon's real.
The supposition of what could possibly be happening there is.
See, Ryan remembers the cornucopia.
Mike, it's as real as this fucking I Am Legend 2 happening. It's been announced. It's been in development. They're doing it. Will Smith is getting fucking jiggy with it again with some zombie vampire bloodlusting motherfuckers. It's going down. And you know what?
Thank your manatees.
It is. Anyway, it is what it is, Mike. And hopefully it's a good movie. Hopefully they're going to reboot it. You go to your source material, you make it right this time. You got great actors. You got Michael B. Jordan, you got Will Smith. Hopefully it's good. That's all I can say. If it's not, then you guys fucking need to stop. I mean, you always need to stop, but just make a good movie.